All right, let's just jump right in. We're going to talk about a feeling that, for a lot of us, has become this constant background hum in modern life. You know what I'm talking about, that simmering, ready to snap irritability. We are going to get to the absolute bottom of it, and trust me, the answer is probably not what you think.
We've all been there, right? You're in a totally normal situation, stuck at a red light, waiting for your coffee, and boom, you are just filled with this completely out of proportion rage. It's like your skin is on too tight. It's a tiny, tiny little inconvenience, but your internal reaction is just massive. And this is the real question we're digging into here. We usually just brush this off, Oh, I'm stressed, or I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed. But what if we're completely misdiagnosing the problem? What if that constant irritation is actually a signal flare coming from a much, much deeper part of ourselves? First off, let's just get one thing straight. If you feel this way, you are so not alone. Seriously, this isn't some personal failing. It's a cultural thing. It really does feel like we're living through an epidemic of just being irritable.
And this points to something huge. For so many people, being irritable isn't a reaction to something that happened anymore. It's become the default setting. It's the state you're in before your day has even started. You literally wake up on edge, just waiting for something to tick you off.
Okay, so to really get to the cause, we have to make a super important distinction. We tend to just lump all these feelings together, but the truth is the kind of aimless irritability we're talking about is not the same thing as anger, not even close. And this difference is everything. See, on one side, you've got righteous anger. That's a healthy, totally useful emotion. It's that jolt of energy you need to push a boulder out of your path. It has a clear target, and it has a purpose. But irritability, that's like a wildfire. It has no target, it just burns everything, and it's a giant flashing sign that something is wrong on the inside, not the outside. So if this feeling isn't just being angry, then what on earth is it? Well, here's the twist. Irritability is actually our most basic, primal state. It's the default human reaction. And the best example? A little kid. Just think about it for a second. A toddler feels this whole messy mix of stuff. They're tired, but they don't want to sleep. They're hungry, but hate the food. They don't have the words to explain all that internal chaos. So what happens? A total explosion. A physical tantrum. Their body just reacts because their vocabulary can't keep up. Now here is the connection. This is the key. When we see that exact same pattern in a grown-up, an internal feeling that leads to an external physical blow-up of irritation, it means something got missed. It suggests some crucial tool for processing emotions was just never picked up along the way. And that brings us to the core diagnosis, the real name for this thing. The reason for all this chronic adult irritability, according to our source material, is a concept called inculture. And look at this. The process is exactly the same as the child's. The adult feels a complicated emotion, maybe disappointment with their job, anxiety about the future, whatever. But they lack the internal culture, that library of references, to really understand and talk about that feeling with any nuance. So just like the toddler, they react with their body, a sharp tone of voice, a constant complaint, that simmering rage. So what exactly is inculture? It's not about being uneducated, it's not about being dumb. It's a poverty of your inner world. It's when you just don't have the words, the stories, the analogies, the references to make any sense of what is happening inside of you. And let's be super clear here, this has nothing to do with college degrees or knowing a bunch of facts. You can be a brilliant surgeon or a genius coder and still suffer from inculture. This is about the richness of your emotional and expressive toolkit, not how much data you have stored in your brain. I mean, listen to how starkly this is put. Without this internal culture, your ability to express yourself just shrinks. You're left with a few crude barks for really complex feelings. Happy, sad, mad. You can't explain the subtle shades of difference between, say, melancholy and despair. You just bark. So, and this is the most important part, if the disease is incultura, then the cure, well, it has to be culture. This isn't a problem you can fix with a productivity hack or some new app. This requires actually building something inside yourself. So the antidote is to deliberately, consciously build a richer inner world. And that means engaging with a giant library of human experience. We're talking about reading novels, watching thoughtful movies, learning about history, looking at art. These aren't just fluffy hobbies. They are essential tools for understanding yourself. So how does this actually work? Well, culture basically gives you a map and a language for your own soul. When you read a book or watch a great film, you pick up analogies and words for your own experiences. It lets you say, oh, what I'm feeling, it's like what that character was going through. And in that one moment of recognition, that formless, angry irritation starts to take shape. You can understand it. And once you understand it, it starts to lose its power over you. And this all leaves us with a final, pretty challenging question, doesn't it? If our lives are just spent in a state of reaction, physically lashing out at feelings we can't even name, let alone comprehend, are we really in the driver's seat? It suggests that building this inner world isn't just about being less irritable. It's about becoming a fully conscious, active participant in your own life.